Hi, welcome back to another video. Today we come to a place in Kent. It's a wildlife reserve. Now this wildlife reserve was created in 1956. It was actually a sand and ballast pit, and I suppose it is the extracting of sand and ballast, which I'm going to show you the sign now. You probably get to see more where it was. Please see the photo attached as well at the end of the video. Now, it was in 1935 the Kent Sand and Ballast Company, later Redland Aggregates, today Lafarge Aggregates, and Concrete UK started excavating the natural resource of the site. The sand and gravel deposits left by the river during flooding. For almost 50 years they worked the land, producing material for building trade and creating the lakes and islands you see today. So we are going to go on with the video now. And I think there's Marshall here.
Hi.
So there are some interesting finds around here. So I have a different camera person today. It's not my sister as usually it is. But, the young man here. What did you tell Joe? What did you tell Joe?
She's a new camerawoman.
Yeah, she was a new camerawoman, but you told.
She got fired again.
Yeah, she got fired, didn't she?
Very.
And you've taken over, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so here's my new, that's my new cameraman there, for today anyway.
Find me now as well.
So I'm going to point you back this way and try and get you down to some cool finds. So she's fired then, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I guess
I'll let you tell her that one then.
I guess I'm fired now as well.
Yeah.
We take a right here.
Right here. Come on. Through this way. To the right then.
Another
Not
sign
to the
there.
left, to the left.
Another sign.
Come to another sign here. Now, sorry, taking a while to zoom in. There's another sign here. Now, might be very off if I read that one for you. Now, this part of the reserve was heavily used during the quarrying operation. Lots of the heavy machinery passed through the site. Offices were located nearby. This has left the soil very compacted and vegetation has been slow to re-establish itself. It is a prime example of brownfield site, a post-industrial wasteland. So that area over there, yes, it was heavily used during the quarrying operation. Lots of heavy machinery. I'm going to take you over there now. There's quite a bit of vegetation over there now, as you can see on the GoPro. So I mean about these videos, I like making these. There's a lot of interesting things, and that's what it looks like today. So, onwards we go, looking that way. We're coming up to another area that was used. Now I'm thinking these were created in about 1935, somewhere around about that date. Might be wrong. So this area you see over here, I'm going to put you over there, so you can just about see it over there. I'm going to do a bit of reading up on this one as well. Now where I've just showed you, ahead of you there is a large sandy bank, which I just showed you. This was part of the sand quarry just beyond the sandbank is the old railway embankment where the trains used to come in to be loaded with aggregates to be taken off site. There was also a ready mix cement plant. Now, should I take you over? I'll be allowed over that way first?
No, there's no access.
So I'll point you in, hopefully you can see the sandbank. And that's what the area is used for. Now we're going to move on.
People left a little storage box.
A shipping container then.
Yeah, past that there's an island that I used to go to with my mates.
How do you get over?
Yeah, we had to cross a little lake, but then we were over there, we had like an island to ourselves.
Wait, do you swim like that?
No, we made like a log bridge over there. We've got like benches and stuff there, we had the whole island to ourselves.
What are you doing there? We're just walking around, sitting, chilling, talking.
You can see in the
No,
distance
we
there the
like
lake
proper-
as well. Now I'm taking sand and gravel as expected from the lake, is it?
Oh, there's a bit. Yeah, just there's like another sign that tells you about it.
Alright. We found another sign here. Hopefully tell us about the lake. So now I'm going to take you back to the sign what this part of the lake was used for. I'm going to tell you there's a sign there now. Because I'm new to it around here, I haven't been around here before, but I just think people might be interested. Now it says, in the water in front of you is an old wharf where tugs docked to collect workers and take them out to the grabs, then bring them back at the end of a shift. Many workers lived on site in purpose-built accommodation. The diagram below gives an idea of how the operation worked. Now you can see the operation there, how the job was actually done. Now I'm going to take you down to the lake here. As there was a dock here. Now here, this was probably part of the dock here, which is quite interesting as well. It's an interesting find for me. And here's a bit of the old railings. You can see over there, in through the trees. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see that properly. It's quite interesting actually, this one. I want to try and get you down there so you can see a bit more. Now, without falling in and sinking. Now, managed to make it down there. Now, I take it this was part here. I'll get you out over the lake if I can. You can see through there the lake. It's rather interesting there. And I think this was the old docking station here. So it looks like they would have extracted sand and gravel out of here and brought it back to where the docking station has, loaded the lorry up with the aggregates and took them off to where they're taking them to for the building work. Now we're going to be pressing on now to another part of the reserve once I've got back up the embankment. So we have come to another bit of the wildlife reserve, which is good. Now, it says on this post here, from the Sutton Hide you will see yet more evidence of the exciting history of Sevenoaks Wildlife Reserve. The sandy area in front of you of the hide provides an ideal habitat for many birds. The soft earth and small pools are easy to probe and contained juicy worms for insect larvae. In 1972, explosives were used to try to create pools and rivulets on the sandy flats to make the area even better for birds. Unfortunately, the effects didn't last as the ground was too soft. This sort of experimentation and innovation was common in the development of the reserve, which varying levels of success. Although the explosives didn't work, several other groundbreaking projects did, such as Clay Island, which you can just see across the water towards the far bank. The island was created from spoil left from building the M26 motorway, an ingenious and positive way of recycling industrial material to create more habitat for wildlife. And these pictures you see in front of you, before, during and after photos of the explosives. Now I'm taking that's in front of us over here, so I'm going to take you to where it would have been, which would have been right in front of you here on the lake, and down there. Now that's where the explosives were used, down there, to create that. Now we're going to be moving on to the next bit, which is down the path here. To wherever the next bit leads us. A lot of how it used to look back then is really gone now, to be honest. And I'm just trying to get in, read the signs and do the pictures of what it used to look like and what it looks like today mainly. And it hasn't taken me long to find another part of history about this place. And I'm going to take you over to it now and read out what it says on the board, what it used to be. Now, this bit here, living landscape, not sure if you can see the writing, but I'll read it out to you anyway. As you look out over this pond, look past the plants and wildlife, you should be able to see yet another signs of the reserve's industrial past. I'm going to take you over there in a minute after I've read this. Looking down to the right, there is an old barge. This was once used to move the sand and gravel dug up by the floating grab. They were pulled by tugs and docked at the concrete wharf ahead of you. The sand and gravel extracts were then loaded into lorries before being taken off site to be used in local housing and other building projects like hospitals, schools and libraries. Now, there's the pictures there. So where we are now, I don't know if you can see right down through there. I'm going to try and get this in on the GoPro. You can see some winches down there. Now that was part of the old tugboat. We're going to try and find another way down to that. As you can see, it's overgrown and it's quite difficult to get down to some of it. So the boys are going up ahead to try and find another way down there. So we're going to try and... There you go. He's told me to hurry up. I'm going to try and find another way down to the old tugboat. They used to tug the sand barge in. It's a bit difficult to get down there, so we're going to turn back and we're going to go back the way where we come from. Quite difficult to get round there because a lot of it's overgrown. I'm just trying to show you what artifacts are left of the history of what it used to be along here. It's hard work getting down some of these because it is so overgrown. I'm going to try and get you onto what used to be the old tugboat. They used to tug the barge in, which would have been loaded up with the aggregates to build the homes and the hospitals from.
See the way down, I'll go down.
So see you on the tugboat. I've just come down the embankment here. Marshall. Huh? It's going to come down, I think, as well.
Yep.
But we managed to get down to where I promised you where the old tugboat was. We've got to try and just get up on the old tug. So I'm going to climb up here. A lot of negotiation here to try and get up to it towards the old tugboat. Now here's the winches.
Where'd you go from here? Yo, where'd you go from here?
You come down?
That's down there.
Yeah, just follow it down.
Mad, man.
Yeah. Well, Marshall negotiates it. Whoops.
Right.
It's just slippery as hell, that's why you can't come down, Harry.
I'm out.
No, Harry, don't come down, you're gonna hurt yourself.
We've gone to which was the old tugboat here. I suppose these winches here would have pulled in the barge, which would have been loaded up with the aggregates from the lake here. And as I said, that would have been for the building of the hospitals and homes and schools, this part of the reserve. So I'm going to try and get you over to this bit here, and over to the next winch. It's an interesting find, this one, with a winch. Old-fashioned winches. As I said, I never knew any of this was here. Very interesting. See the barge, which would have been the barge there, the sides of the barge. There's more of it over there. Now I'm not going to go any further in, we're going to move in, go back to where...
Oh, you coming back? Oh.
Yeah, let's go back, shall we, because it's a bit...
Oh, have you not been to that bit over there?
Don't need to go over there, do we? I just got in on the video, so... Let's go, moving on to the next bit.
I think there's a way that way to get off, that's what I was trying to say.
So moving on to the next bit. So leaving what was the old barge that used to pull the aggregates in. Then moving on to the next bit. It's very difficult to get down here.
I did want to climb back up that part over there, but... You right, John?
John, you go first then. Try and get out this way. So it's very overgrown here. Move on to the next bit. Here we are.
How have you not been stung yet,
Thank God for that. Well, that was a bit of an explore, that bit.
How do you get out?
With that bit.
Is that a bit easier?
Now moving on to the next bit after that.
We'll take
So
a
we got-
selfie of us in the river.
Some more of the lake here.
Don't even dare.
Now from me, Marshall, Harry, from where we was at the tugboat a little while ago, we'd like to say thanks for watching the video, as this was a part of the 1956 sand gravel excavations that used to build homes, schools and hospitals back in 1956 and onwards. I've shown you the industrial history of the lake, and from me, Harry and Marshall, I'd just like to say thanks for watching the video. Until the next video, see you soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.